Day for our company, a big day for our team, frankly, a big day for our family. This PSI has been in a company now for, I guess, 10 years, 11 years, something like that. Eric and I started this with Chris and some other founders that are here today somewhere. This is a technology that grew out of the University of Delaware, out of my labs there, and that's when we incubated it. Never forget the day that we decided to do this work. I said, Chris, you can have an easy PhD or a hard PhD. He said, I'll do the hard PhD, and then here we are today. So he can blame all this on Chris if you want to. Not the Senator Chris, the Reverend Chris. But and everyone here has contributed to this in ways that I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you. Yana always points out when I'm wrong. She always dazzles me. Leo seems to figure everything out whenever I put his way. Jared does whatever I ask him to build. I can't show you enough appreciation for all the years you guys have worked with me, and Matt and Tim and the guys in the back. And Charles has never ever said I can't do something. I can do some pretty incredible things. He's been to Yuma. How many times, Charles? Probably just once. Yeah. He's been to Eureka. He's been to Dayton several times. He's been to Owego, all over the place with that imager and that system. So Ahmed was my first PhD student ever. He was at Gore at the time. I stole him from Gore, so don't tell anybody. And Brian over there is our most recent member of our team. He's the machinist. He runs that system. And I met him because he kept flying by me on his bike. We were trying to ride bikes together. I could never keep up with him. I said, if you can ride a bike that hard, I bet you can really operate a machining tool. It turns out that was a good guess. But I want to thank you all for coming, and I won't say anything else, but I do want to express my appreciation to the sponsors. Rob has been funding this work for well over 10 years, taking them from 6'1" all the way up to 6'3" now, maybe even 6'4". Keith and his colleagues at OSD are funding the manufacturing component of this, which is super exciting to us. Dr. Keating and Dr. Ahn are essentially funding us to do transition. We had CENTCOM on the line, literally helping make weighing decisions on this. And Janet has been a longtime supporter of our technology, and she has really got probably half a dozen projects funded for us and keeps the work coming. So because of you guys that were here, we wouldn't have this building if it wasn't for Senator Coons, and this whole team owes a tremendous amount of gratitude and appreciation. I just want you guys to know we thank you for everything that you do.
I have about 45 minutes worth of very dense and formal remarks to deliver now. You think I'm joking? I really just came so I could see Captain Prather in a tie. That really was my entire goal today. We have accomplished that. I am grateful. I'm just briefly going to say thank you to the sponsors and to all of you, and to Captain Prather, to Dr. Dennis Prather, for what you're doing, because this flies under the radar, literally and figuratively, for most people in the United States and in Delaware. This combination of STTRs, SBIRs across a dozen projects, across a number of sponsoring agencies, is exactly how things move from a research laboratory, an early aha moment, an insight, a PhD project, to a small scale. I think I visited you about a year ago in the basement of Evans Hall, is that right?
That's correct.
So literally incubated on the UD campus, to today having dozens of employees and having more unfilled positions and moving very rapidly from a very promising early development and testing stage to a mid-stage in terms of having ideas for deployment and scale, to now really clearly being on your way towards significant scale up and deployment in the variety of operational applications. That you've now got a machinist and a world-class cutting-edge machining piece of equipment brings me real joy, because it means you're literally now moving into manufacturing, production, and scale-up. So by our estimate, and it may or may not be completely accurate, the U.S. government has invested roughly in total about $50 million in more than a decade in work that is associated with phase-sensitive innovation and some of the allied projects. So, you know, when you're doing it $1 million here and $500,000 there and $2 million here and $3 million here, it doesn't seem like all that much. But when you put it all together, all the projects across all the different partners, it's really impressive. And what I'm excited about is where I think this is going, because I think you've got enormous potential to really fundamentally transform things from telecommunication to threat assessment to interoperability to operator safety in very difficult environments for those who are today flying helicopters for us or serving for us. So I just simply wanted to say thank you. Thank you to the folks who are making it possible for this funding to be delivered. Thank you to the folks who are bending your will and your intellect and I suspect find this entire thing very awkward and are just excited about the food. And thank you more than anything to Dennis. I'd like to give you, if I could, a challenge coin. This is borrowed from the military tradition of saying thank you to those who really make significant contributions. So thank you to Captain Crowther, to everybody on the team. Let's give each other a round of applause for your I can't wait to see what's next. So thank you all very much.